Hi guys, this is Tammy Hands from Tammy Hands Ministries. How are you guys doing? I'm just out doing some things here, and I started to get a message from God, and I thought I'd turn this on. I didn't really have anything to write in. Usually I'll write it down. It is August 2nd, 2022. I'm not sure of the time. I think it's about 4:45 p.m. And I heard God saying, "Careless is he who puts his trust in man, which is overshadowed by the enemy." Oh, how foolish man can be. You cannot trust in fleshly rulers who have desires of the flesh. Take heed, for the greatest illusion is happening right under your feet. How easily you trust in man. Have you forgotten who your true Father is, your true King? The only one you can trust in is me. Remove the scales from your eyes. For you have been such a fool. Following in the foolish ways of man. Following that path leads to destruction. Reverse your footsteps and come back to me, your true Father, your true King. I urge you not to take another step into that direction. That direction leads to the enemy. I just see a vision of a person just walking down a path, and they're actually whistling and skipping, walking down this path thinking life is hunky-dory. And then there's just an edge of a cliff, and they get to the edge, and they're slipping off, and all the stones are just tumbling down, and they're grasping at the air, and nearly falling off the edge. And then I actually see a big hand just coming out of nowhere and grabbing them by their shirt and pulling them back onto the path. And they get their footing. I see their feet not on these little pebbles anymore that were falling off the edge of the cliff. I see them, God pulls them back onto solid ground. And God says, reverse your steps and come back to me. I just see the person standing there, really stunned, not knowing what the heck just happened. As if their life just flashed before their eyes. They didn't see it coming. They didn't know what they were doing. They were so blinded by the enemy. They didn't know the enemy was taking them off a cliff and trying to destroy them. And they were just a second from falling into the abyss, and God pulled them out. I see them falling to their knees and kissing the ground and crying out to God, repenting and saying, I'm so sorry, God. They were so under the thumb of the enemy. They had such terrible blinders on. They didn't even know the enemy was taking them down a deadly path. And God says it's not too late. It's not too late for each and every one of us to reverse our steps and come back to Him. God said He wants to pull us back. He wants to pull us back. But He says that we have the freedom. He gave us freedom of our free will. And we need to make the choice that we want to come to Him. God said many are headed to that cliff. And their footing will be shaken. And they will slip over the edge. And they're headed for the abyss. And God is giving His warning and saying, come back, reverse your steps, come back from the edge. Reverse your steps and come back to me. God says He rejoices in His faithful children, the ones that have been faithful to Him. He does rejoice in them. But He says that His heart is so heavy for the lost ones, for the ones that need to reverse their steps. God says He needs everyone to hear the message that they need to come back from the edge. It only leads to the abyss, He says. He says, come back, my children, come back to me. I just see hearts all around Him and just love just pouring out of His heart. I see tears in His eyes and tears just pouring out of His eyes. He wants the lost ones to know how much He loves them. And He just needs them to come back, ask for forgiveness, and just come back to Him now. I see the person at the edge of the cliff with this pebble ground. It's not a solid ground, and the little pebbles are just falling over the edge. And I just see a hand, either God or Jesus, just hanging on to their one pant leg behind them on the ground, holding on to the one pant leg. I'm not going to say like God is begging the person, but it's almost like that. Like God just, wants them back so bad. God says, Tammy, tell my people, stop in their tracks now. Do not take another foot forward in the wrong direction. Stop now. Reverse your steps now. Now is the time. There is no other time like now. You need to reverse your steps now. Whew. Such an urgency in his voice. Come back away from the edge of the cliff. One more step just leads to the enemy's snare, where you will not be able to free yourself. You need to stop in your tracks now and come back to God. That's his message. Come back now. Come back now. Keep saying, come back to me, my children. I don't hear anything else. I don't hear him anymore. But I think the message is loud and clear. And I hope if there are some wavering Christians or unbelievers out there, I pray that you will receive this message. There is a great sadness in God's voice, and a great urgency, and a great longing for you. A great urgency not to take another step in that direction, the wrong direction. The false leader, the man that you're following, they are overshadowed by the enemy. They are being driven by the enemy. And do not be fooled another step into the wrong direction. I just heard God say it again. I pray that this message falls into the hands of the people that God desperately wants you to hear this message. I pray that you know who you are, and that you will take this message seriously, take it to heart, and listen to what God has to say, and come back to your Maker, Father God. In Jesus' mighty, precious, holy name, I pray. I pray that for you, my friend. Take care. And hopefully you'll find my other videos at TammyHandsMinistries.com. Tammy Hands Ministries on YouTube. And take care. Resonate that message. It's very, very important. Bye for now.